Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to see The Naked City. I'm Burt Leonard, the producer. As you see, we're flying over an island, a city, a particular city. And this is a story of a number of people, and a story also of the city itself. It was not photographed in the studio, quite the contrary. The actors played out their roles in the streets, aboard the Staten Island Ferry, and in the harbor of New York. Time is a knife edge on which men try to balance, looking in two directions at once. Back to the past, out to the future. It can be unpredictable, hazardous, even deadly. Like this moment, 3 minutes after 2, a hot afternoon in late July, on the Staten Island Ferry, halfway to Manhattan, when destiny brought together 8 men out of the 8 million people in the naked city for an isolated, unexpected moment set in time.
Huh? We're just gonna sit here and enjoy the ride. It's a lot of ride for a nickel, huh? Yes, sir. Sure is hot.
But that single moment in time which seems to stand still always requires a something which came before and a something to come after. The something that came before happened at noon in the Battery at the foot of Manhattan.
What do you suppose it's all about?
When it comes straight from the commissioner, you don't ask. Besides, with Dan, you never know.
Oh?
Dan's a 24-hour-a-day cop. But once I've seen him spend a whole month of his spare time just trying to find the right husband for a kid on 56th Street. Homely kid, believe me, but a great cook, you know? Good heart. And like I say, great cook. They got a couple of kids now. Named the boy Muldoon. Muldoon Rolowski. How about that? Muldoon Rolowski.
Oh, boy.
Lieutenant Muldoon is here, Commissioner.
Dan? Well, this is a surprise.
Is it now?
Okay. Here. Take a look.
You retire him, Commissioner. You kill him. You know that.
Adam Flint's been skippering ferry boats across the harbor for more than half a century. He'll be 74 next month. Should have been retired 9 years ago.
He never lost a passenger. Never had an accident.
Until last week, Dan. Until last week. Last week, he pulled out of the St. George slip while his boat was still tied up. Claims he heard the all-clear signal. Dispatcher claims he hadn't sounded yet. Luckily, no harm was done. Just a parted hawser. But Adam is beginning to hear things. Bells, whistles, who knows what else.
Well, what is it? You want me to tell him to retire?
You don't have to, Dan, unless you want to. It certainly is not police business.
The answer is no.
All right, Dan. I can shoot this recommendation for his retirement right to the board, and he'll have to step out of that wheelhouse. But I don't want to do it that way, Dan. I don't want to break his heart. I thought you'd feel the same way. You've known him even longer than I. So I'm counting on you. Break it to him easy. Get him to see the good side of it. After all, he retires on full pay. Time he stepped down and took it easy.
And if I won't? Commissioner, you remember my father?
He was a fine man.
A stormy man most of his life, rest his soul. And as he lay dying, the priest said to him, Bobby, my boy, you have but one choice left to you, God or the devil. I remember father lifted a dying eyelid and whispered, I'm in no position to antagonize anybody. Well, it's a heavy case. They want me to ask Captain Flint to retire. Well, let's go see him.
Does he still live over on Staten Island?
Maybe I'd better go on back to the precinct, sir. There are a lot of reports I ought to fill out.
I need moral support, lad.
Yes, sir.
12 o'clock, high noon, and 3 of the 8 men, Muldoon, Halloran, and Arcaro, moved toward an unknown rendezvous in time. And across the bay on Staten Island, at 2 minutes after 12, 2 other men wait out their appointed moment.
They're through loading here. They're pulling out now. I've got 12-2. Check. I'll call you from the next stop.
You'd think it'd be cooler over here on Staten Island, what with the sea breeze.
The armored car at checkpoint number 4. That means the next stop's there.
But it's hotter here.
Right on schedule.
Don't you feel it? Don't it bother you?
Huh?
Don't it bother you?
What?
The heat.
We got another tuna fish sandwich in there?
I guess it don't, huh?
It don't what?
Bother you none.
He used to have ears like a tomcat, could even hear milk turning sour.
Still can. Just didn't want to look away until I put this mast into place.
Still filling him up with bolts, huh?
Better to fill 'em up than to empty 'em, I always say.
Halloran, meet Captain Flint.
New boy?
Still in the egg, but we'll hatch him out, teach him to scratch for worms.
How do you do, sir?
Kind off your course today, aren't you, Dan?
Kind of wanted to cracker barrel it a little with you, Adam. Calculated it might be easier here on the beach.
Almost 1. 1:45 I'm due at the dock. Never been late in 50 years.
Well, this shouldn't take too long.
I'll tell you what. You ride back with me in the wheelhouse. Greatest cracker barrel in the whole wide world. You ever see the city from up there, son?
No, I haven't, sir.
I seen her grow from up there. Yes, sir. I seen her stretch and grow, and before any of us knew it, there she was. Standing up straight and proud like a young lady reaching for the sky. Yeah, not many of us left, huh?
I can always trust you to comfort a man, Adam.
At your age, a man's still sensitive about getting old. At my age, he's downright touchy.
But none of us can avoid the future.
Yeah, but we can sure postpone it. Well, come along, boy. Let's not miss our boat.
You gonna leave it like that?
How you want me to leave it? No locker at Penn Station.
You ought to put your safety on.
Yeah. Freddie used to do that. Remember Freddie? He was wearing a carnation and a DOA tag when they took him in.
Yeah, I remember Freddie. You shouldn't ought to traded shots with a cop.
Some trade. Slob had his safety on. Guns ain't supposed to be safe. They wanted them safe, they wouldn't make them.
And now the link between past and present had been forged, and the 8 men were to come face to face. This was to be no ordinary hijack. It had all been planned with infinite patience, checked and double-checked, worked out to the split second. Now everything hinged on one small but critical point. One element which the planners had been counting on and waiting for. The July heat.
Dan, if you and the boy just sit her on the bench till we're underway. Oh, Bronson. Lieutenant Muldoon, hollering, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Aye.
Take over. Well now, Dan, you've been biting your tongue long enough today.
Well, sort of private.
Say, sir, I think I'll go down there and keep our Caro company.
I'll be on the boat deck.
You know, Adam, the way I see it, a man's life divides itself into 3 distinct periods. First is when he's contriving all sorts of villainy and rascality. That's the period of youth and innocence. The second is when he's putting into practice all the villainy and rascality he contrived before. And the third and last period is when he's preparing his soul for another world. That's the period of dotage. Can be the best of the 3.
Didn't know you were such a philosopher, Dan.
Well, I'm leading up to something. What I mean to say is that a man should spend some time by himself while he's able to. Put his house in order, not have to punch a time clock.
Oh, nonsense. A man's work is his life, and the time clock's his heartbeat. Now you take me. It's out here, Dan. Out here in the harbor I've worked the strong part of my life. I'll tell you something. If it wasn't for thousands of men whose names you'll never hear, all working out here on the water or down underground in the subways of the city, it wouldn't be the same city. Don't often get to thinking that, do you? But out here on the night run, I see the lights go off in the city, the buildings get dark, and I know it was us brought him home. Gives me pride to be part of it. I've neither chick nor child, Dan. No loving granddaughter to tell me it's time for my nap. Nobody to wrap a scarf around my neck or bring me a cup of hot broth in the winter. But I have got this, the look of the city from here. You shouldn't get me started. I cut right into what you were saying. What were you saying?
I can't remember.
I never knew anyone ever used a diaper for a handkerchief before except you. Works pretty good, huh?
It was the wife's idea. There we was. All our kids wearing pants before we knew it, and us with a stack of diapers still left.
I'll bet it beats a handkerchief 4 ways from the middle, huh?
It sure does. Phew. Maybe I'll grab a little fresh air. This cab's like a nothing, okay?
Okay. Just give me the knock when you're ready to come back in.
3 short, 2 long, 3 short. This was the key to the treasure chest. This was the reward for weeks of patience and careful surveillance.
Hot, huh? What can I do? I take a sea voyage, I always get hungry.
Yeah, well, you keep my secret. I'll keep yours, okay?
You get hungry too?
No, it's not that. You see, well, Janet's been after me for about 2 years to take Debbie out on this trip. I don't think she'd like it very much if she'd known I'd been to Staten Island today without her.
So who's to tell her?
No, it's not that easy. You see, Janet and I, we discuss everything I do during the day, you know?
How long you been married?
5 years.
Ah.
Anderson is the captain. Anderson! You hear that sound right after he called? Like a gunshot. I knew it was a gunshot. Keep the helm, I'm going below.
Well, you say you heard a gunshot. Do you think that's possible, Ed?
Well, anything's possible.
Like that all clear signal last week in St. George, the one you said you heard?
Now I see what you're here for, Dan. We'll settle this later. Next guy makes the wrong move won't be so lucky. Guys, move him out of the way. Let's go. All right, now, who's next in charge? You? All right, you take over. When the captain signals the speed changes, I want you to follow through, see? I want a nice, smooth docking job. From all hands. Okay, up. Get him up. Get him up. What are you doing here? Checking the engine, Pop. Up.
All squared away up here.
Get up to the wheelhouse. Make sure the mate doesn't give us a bump there. A guy can have a sense of humor about things, can't he, Pop?
anchor the ship to shore radio. And watch it in order, pull those overhead ropes. Sure. Let him try it. Let him be a brave boy. Come on. Come on.
This is my boat, mister. As long as I'm aboard, I'm in command.
You're a proud one, ain't you, Bob?
Another couple of minutes, you and me is gonna ride right off. Slick, huh?
Captain, coming in. We're gonna have to berth her. Need permission, sir. Captain.
50 years. 50 years and nobody ever cursed a ship of mine than me. Keep him covered. Take care of the wheelhouse. Be Chinaman, but
Gotta do something. He's still in there with Jimmy. How are we gonna get him out, Dan?
That's his problem. We got all the time in the world. How's the top side?
Well, he jumped overboard. The Coast Guard fellas picked him up.
Fine, lad, fine. But just keep an eye on the armored car. If anyone tries to open the door, be sure you see both hands. Up high, in the air. I'm going below to be with Adam.
Now, you go ahead, sir.
Dan. Adam? 38. Something for your watch, Shake. One more inch. An inch is a lot of room when your nose is underwater, Dan. Commissioner told me to give you this. He doesn't want to put it through unless you think he should. He told me to tell you, you decide. Tell him I've decided. And he told me he had orders today to put the new Merrill-class ferries in service next month. He thought you might be wanting to take the first one over. That is, if you're up to it. Yeah, sounds reasonable. Dan, this recommendation for retiring me, you had a lot to do with killing it, didn't you? No, Adam. You were in command all the way. As far as everyone's concerned, you always will be. You'll be the one to decide when it's time to step away.
For 300 years, men have come into this harbor from the 4 quarters of the earth, looking for opportunity, looking for a dream, looking for themselves. Some have been lucky. They've found all 3. There are 8 million stories in the naked city. This has been one of them.